the Justice Department releasing a heavily redacted version of the affidavit used for the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago. Joining us now, former Trump White House trade advisor and author of Taking Back Trump's America, Peter Navarro. Peter, good to have you, sir. What's your take on the raid and or the affidavit? What gets your attention?
Well, my good buddy John Solomon at Just the News broke a little story about how apparently the affidavit relied in part on media outlets. I mean, that's the same thing we had in the Russia hoax. I mean, the FBI is the FBI. They're supposed to be an intelligence agency. What are they doing reading Breitbart? You know, it's like the Democrats can take two anonymous sources, throw something in any news article in any publication in the world, and then suddenly that becomes a fact to the FBI. It's friggin' stupid. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I'm looking at your screen. Redacted means cancel. Okay, so they canceled the affidavit. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen there. That's like FBI in your face. I mean, here's the thing. Bill Belichick said, or Bill Parcells said this, you are what your score says you are, right? The FBI score, last night we found out from Mark Zuckerberg that the FBI pressured Facebook and Twitter to not report on the legitimate problems associated with the Hunter Biden laptop.
We want to hear what you have to say. And by the way, I was just looking at one of the pages, does quote a CBS Miami article about the moving bans, just like you said. They're citing media. I almost would feel better if they said, we have FBI special agents observing so-and-so. But
I wonder why they didn't redact that.
Yeah, right. But
that's like the most damning thing in it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people that feel like what's going on here at Mar-a-Lago was an overreaction from a politically generated interest to go after the former president. So let me ask you what you felt like the experience of a at least comparable situation. Describe that for us, if you would.
Yeah. Well, look, here's what Donald Trump and I share in common with these two incidents, right? In my case, armed FBI agents grabbed me at the airport, and I wound up in leg iron solitary confinement and denied an attorney. In the typical case, in my case, would have been to simply do a voluntary arrest without all of that. And by the way, they leaked it to the press. Okay, so they had armed FBI agents. They did the same thing in Mar-a-Lago. The only difference between the thing was the scale. Mine had handguns. Those guys had rifles, and there were a lot more of them. And in both cases, we were trying to cooperate with the National Archives on an issue. And we still got this highly disproportionate response. Now, you asked me the question. I'll throw it back to you. I don't think any of this was an accident. I think that was designed specifically to intimidate, coerce, and bully me in the hope of making me kowtow so that I could help them implicate Donald Trump in another hoax.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of people on board with you as far as, and one of the things that struck me, Peter, is that what was going on previously was even with the FBI, like with the Hunter Biden thing,
sure.
Mr. Trump was still president. So that was his FBI, if you will. Which would be kind of a surprise, because if you see them being political now, and if you think it's reflecting the politics of Joe Biden, whose politics were they reflecting when they were doing similar things, yet the president was Mr. Trump?
Well, clearly embedded within the FBI. And by the way, there's a revolving door between the FBI and the Department of Justice. I don't even know this. For example, Lisa Monaco used to work at the FBI. Now she's over on the other side of the street working for DOJ. So it's a very incestuous relationship. And look, it's like these are partisans. They have weaponized the FBI. We just need answers here at this point. And redacting the entire affidavit except a small reference to some media outlet is not transparency, okay? That judge, I mean, screw that judge. That guy had no business approving the warrant to begin with, and now he gives us this. That guy is a joke. We should send him to Epstein's Lolita Island because he was part of that joke. And so what the hell is going on here? Me and leg irons. Trump having FBI agents rifle the panty draws. Roger Stone having CNN be ready to do a $1 million raid on his house. Paul Manafort going to prison. Mike Flynn in 2016 getting entrapped by the FBI and winding up causing a ripple effect in the Trump administration. We really needed Mike Flynn.
Hey, Peter, can we get you?
Because of that FBI.